Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Renita, and I am so excited to be back here with you another week for Leadership Live. Oh, for those of you all who are catching this program for the very first time, Leadership Live is simply the sharing of journeys. It's a sharing of journeys. Back in 2019, I did 52 weeks of journey sharing by myself. And then God tapped me on the shoulder. And in 2021, I brought Leadership Live back. But I had friends. I have lots of friends who are leaders, who are fabulous, who are amazing. And I was able to have 54 guests in 49 weeks. In 2022, Leadership Live came back for 20 weeks. And here we are in 2023 for season 4 of Leadership Live. And I've got more friends. It's a thing. It's a thing, and I'm so excited about it. Now, for those of you all who really came to see my friend because you know she's here tonight, but you don't know who I am, hi. I am Dr. Renita. I'm an educational leadership strategist, and all that means is that I love to work with growing and aspiring leaders to become more authentic in their leadership, to empower their fellowship, and at the end of the day, have a greater impact on the world. I do that through speaking, writing, going out and just motivating people. And sometimes I just do it by being a smile and being a light in a dark place. I am also a veteran educator, been everything from a classroom teacher to a school principal and even a college professor. I am also the authoress of Stepmom, Trials, Tribulations, and Triumphs, editions 1 and 2, as well as While You Are Sleeping, the Perfect Children of All Ages book. I am a wife. I am a mother of 4 amazing children. I am excited to be on this journey called life, and I'm excited to be able to say that I am a producer and I am a host because Leadership Live has now been on for 4 seasons. And also one of the greatest joys in my life is being the founder and visionary of the Refining Life, a 501c3 nonprofit organization whose mission is to provide you with experiences so that you can have your mindset shifted so that you can lead a more positive and productive life. And on that journey, I have met so many people. On that journey, I have connected with so many people. And I am Dr. Renita, and that is not a play doctor. Like, really, I have a Ph.D. Like, I wrote a whole dissertation. Yeah, it was lengthy, too. It was work. And on my journey to become Dr. Renita, I actually took a little starter course. I took a little, let me try it out and see if I can do this course. And I met somebody fabulous. And that fabulous lady is here with me tonight. And just, I won't keep you in suspense any longer. Here she is, Dr. Dawn Hicks Tafari.
Hello, Dr. Renita. How you doing, darling?
I am doing fabulous, even better because you're here with me today.
Yes, it is my joy and my ultimate honor to be sharing the screen with you today. You are one of my favorite people. I remember when we first met and I felt like I was just looking in the mirror. I was like, she is everything. Yes, I am.
I will say that very first meeting, I knew that I would have you for a long time. I didn't know how long I would be honored to have you in my life. I didn't know if it would just be, at least for that coursework or what it would be, but I knew we had a connection that went deeper than the moment.
For sure. Yeah, and that comes from that like-mindedness, right? So we both have a loving spirit. We both have a passion for service and serving others, for education, for family, for faith, and for life, and a zest, a zeal for life. And I think that's the kind of thing that's contagious. And when you find it in other people, you hold on to it. So yes. You my friend, and you're not going nowhere. So don't go try.
Yeah, no. Over the years now, like I think by the end of that course, in my mind, I had determined, she stuck with me. Whether she wants to be here or not, we're here. We're here together, and I'm glad. I'm glad you agree. But what I am going to do is step back right now and give you the floor to introduce yourself to the people who may or may not know you. So go ahead and take it.
Take it. All right. So, hey, friends. So like Dr. Renita said, I'm Dr. Dawn Hicks Tafari. Oh, I'm many things. I'm a mother. I have 2 amazing daughters, and they are brilliant and beautiful and talented and creative. I am a professor. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Education at the Winston-Salem State University. North Carolina's #1 HBCU. And so I love teaching. What I do at Winston-Salem State is I teach teachers. I teach people who want to be teachers. And one of the things I teach them is about how to understand development and what's the role that psychology plays in education. I also am very passionate about race and gender and those identity markers, those things that make up the different facets of who we are. So how race and gender impacts educational practices, how it impacts learning, how race and gendered bodies are impacted by power in and outside of academic spaces. And that's a lot of what I do there. I teach courses around those topics. I'm also one of the co-founders of the Greensboro Kwanzaa Collective, which is a powerhouse in the city of Greensboro. And since 2010, we've been bringing the city of Greensboro the public 7-day Kwanzaa celebration, which has been super exciting. I am on the steering committee for Black Girls in Matter Greensboro. We brought the town hall back in 2017. And what else am I? I'm a dancer. I love West African dance. I used to be a powerful hip-hop dancer, doing videos and all that fun stuff as well. And so that's just a little tad of who I am. And I love to say, I like to say it out loud, I'm a critical race theorist as well. I'm a critical race theorist. I'm a Black feminist. I'm a hip-hop feminist. I love looking at the role that hip-hop plays in my life, in people's lives, because I'm from the Bronx. And I'm from the Bronx. Hip-hop is a soundtrack to my life. So I love looking at how hip-hop, like I said, talking about how hip-hop impacted my life and how it impacted other people's lives and how that navigates identity development and pedagogy, right? That teaching, how we think about, how we value, how we philosophize and understand teaching as an institution and as an act of passion and resistance. So I think in a nutshell, that's a tad of who I am. I've published, dozens of journal articles and book chapters. I'm actually working on a book right now. Super exciting and scary at the same time. And so that's a little bit of what I'm up to and who I am when you think of who's Dawn.
Yes. Okay. I was wondering how long it was going to take you to say you were from the Bronx. I said, we are almost done with this intro, and she has not said it yet. There it is. There it is.
Lean back, boogie down, bring it to the X. You know it. It always comes. It's always coming.
Absolutely. Because that is part of the heart of who you are. And what I love, just even hearing in your intro, is to hear your heart and how vast everything about you is, even in the package of yourself. And so it can't help but illuminate the world because it's so much there. Oh, it's so awesome.
That's cool.
This is why I love doing Leadership Live with Dr. Renita and friends. Like, these people are really my friends. And to be able to have people who are in my village to be so dynamic, because your intro showed how dynamic you are. And that is not even all of who you are. It's just so, it's life-changing. It's a game changer. My village is a game changer.
The village is a game changer for real. I mean, who are we without our village, right? We are the product of our village. The people who hold us up, who support us, who grow us, who contribute to our well-being, who pick us up when we fall. All of that is that's our village. And without a strong village, we are lonely, quiet people who really can't really do much. So the village is essential to growth and development. Absolutely.
So in that whole realm, a while ago on Instagram, you created this profile. I was like, what? Who? First and foremost, who is this? So I had to look at the picture to make sure I knew who this person was. Then I was like, what is she up to? And your Instagram name is Love, Eat, Build. And you used to come on a lot. I do a lot of lives. And I used to live for the moment I knew you were going live, because I knew I was going to get my life in some way, shape, or form within one of those realms. So Love, Eat, Build. Will you tell us a little bit about it and why you started it?
Yes, thank you. So my search for inner peace birth Love, Eat, Build. Love, Eat, Build is a concept. She's a space. She's a place. She's an institution. She's a meditation, right? Love, Eat, Build is about, it's a concept. She's a concept where the idea of bringing, what I needed was a place where I could bring together all the parts of me in a beautiful, holistic, fulfilling, empowering way. And that's exactly what it is. She's a platform for me to hold space and talk about who I am professionally, academically, culturally, socially, right? To bring together all of those aspects of me, all of the different parts and layers and facets of my being. And so when I come together with these three words, right? Love, eat, build, because those are things that I love to do, right? Love, right? Love. I keep saying love. I love to do this, right? And love, the idea of love fully, right? Give it all you've got, right? You get one life to live. And so it's so crucial that we spend that life lovingly, loving ourselves. Essentially, if I don't love me, well, let me not say that. I need to love me enough to love others. I gotta love me enough to know that I'm worthy of being Dr. Renita's friend. Right? I would never be your friend if I didn't feel and hear that I was worthy of that space. She might have pity on me and say, "Oh, come on over here, little girl. Let me be your friend." But there's a difference between meeting a powerhouse and being a powerhouse, right? So I gotta love myself enough to enter spaces and navigate places where I can contend with others. And it's not just about being powerful, but it's about feeling empowered and being motivated from within. And that love for myself, that love for other people, There was a thing I saw on Facebook years ago, and it was a student and a teacher. And the student says, but teacher, what about the others? And the teacher says, there are no others. There are no others. Imagine that not that you're the only person in the world, not that kind of there are no others, but there's no difference between me and you, right? This love that I have for me is going to pour out of you. So that's why this self-love is so important, because if I love me so much and I recognize my humanity, then I look in the mirror when I look at you and I recognize, but you're just an extension of me. You're just an extension of me. And so because I love me so much, I gotta love you, because you are me and we're each other. So that's where that love comes from. It's this idea of really just love being big and full in everything that we can imagine it to be. And then the concept of eat. Now there's the obvious eat. So I'm a foodie, right? I'm a vegetarian foodie. I like to say I love food, and what a foodie is right, somebody who loves to try new things, but they love food. That's it may be because I'm a Taurus as well, but I love to eat, and I love good food. I love high quality food. I love vegetarian, plant-based foods. And so I love when I travel. I love to travel. I travel a lot for work and for pleasure. And I love to try new restaurants. If there's a vegetarian restaurant in the town, I'm going, right? And so I try to get their places, and I post pictures of my food. I post me eating the food, talking about the food, make little videos for restaurants and things like that. So there's the eating, but it's about eating, not just being an eater, but eating mindfully. And so when we eat mindfully, we're eating the types of foods that nurture our bodies, because we spend a lot of time eating stuff that doesn't really serve us, And do you see the link, the metaphor that I'm making here about eating stuff that doesn't serve us? So it's about consuming, not just eating food literally, but consuming positivity, consuming positive thoughts, consuming positive ideas, so that we can be that love we talked about before.
Right.
You feel me? So this eating idea is about what we take in. It's about who and how we surround ourselves so that we can be fed.
Right.
It's about that fed, but in that village, right? You go to the village, you're gonna eat, because there's some mama in the village who got a pot or something. But baby, come on over here and eat. Come on. You don't even gotta ask. Come on over here and eat. Get yourself a bowl. Because you might be hungry, right? Come on over here and eat, because you get one of them bowls right there. Come on. You want some bread? Okay. Get Renita some bread. Okay. From over there.
We get it. And you know what they're gonna do? Get up and get it.
And they're gonna get up and get it. And so when we're part of a village, when we love and we show love, then we eat mindfully. And that's part of the consummation, the eating, the consuming positive thoughts. And so building with that is the love, eat, build. It's about building community. How dare I, this idea, I love the idea about, we both talked about having doctorates, right? And we have all this knowledge in our head, but how dare you have knowledge in your head and not share it? That is to me the epitome of selfish, right? That's selfish to have all these amazing thoughts and ideas and just keep them right there. I'm just keep it to myself. I'm not talking to nobody about my stuff, right? But on the other end, teaching is the ultimate act of Ujima's collective work and responsibility. It's the ultimate act of reciprocity, of giving back. So in the act of giving back and of sharing, we're building community. We're building that village. We're cultivating that village as we interact, as we show love, as we share food and ideas and concepts and nutritive thoughts. That's all part of building community. But building community, it's establishing relationships and then nurturing those relationships.
Yes.
It's nurturing those relationships. Friendships take work.
Yes, they do.
You have to call people and check on them. You have to say, oh, I saw this. I thought about you. You have to support their businesses. You smile at them. You give them a hug. You say hello. You support their children. When they're in a play, you go see them, right? So that building community is all of that, and it's a give and take of vulnerabilities. It's calling and crying, and then being the one who is listening to the other person cry. So that's what the building community is about. So those things, to me, they really build on one another. This concept of love, eat, and build, but bringing together the concept of social justice, right? Being a social justice advocate and social justice minded person contributes. It's a reason that I build, because I know that equity is important, and I want to see people, especially Black and Brown people, experience equity in this world. And so I want to build that world. I want to be able to build that space so that can happen. And through all of that is the thing that gives me peace. It's the thing that helps me find joy in the world. That's the thing that helps me to sleep at night, knowing that I'm doing those three things consistently, authentically, effectively, and efficiently, if possible. That's it. That's it. That's
the thing. So I have taken so many notes. My poor little sticky note did not know what was coming to it. Did not know. But there were so many things that came to mind. The first thing that I noticed as you were talking about love, eat, build is that you were intentionally personifying and gendering this. And you even caught yourself one time not calling it she.
Mm-hmm.
Being a feminist, being a person who believes in social justice, being a person who teaches about gendering and, dealing with race and all of this, what in your spirit tells you that you must make her a person or make her a gendered being, and why is she a she?
Ooh, well, yes. Well, the divine feminine is everything. So I definitely, and this is, yes. So Lovey Build is definitely a she. Lovey Build is definitely a she, because she is divine. She is nurturing, and not that he can't be nurturing, but she is the mother of this peace for me. She's this place, this home place for me to do all of these things. And to me, that space is feminine. That space is a she. Of course, those spaces can be created by other humans, and they can be non-binary, they can be masculine. But my Love Eat Build is definitely a she. And when I think of her in that way, it is, again, she's the embodiment of me, and I am very much she. Right? I am very much a cis femme woman who navigates society from the space and ideology of the divine feminine. The divine feminine being a Black woman who is of everything that is creative, celestial, and magical.
I asked that question because I think about how we enter spaces that either we create or we're creating within. Because I think that we are in a constant state of creation. I think we were created by a creator who created us to create, if that makes sense.
Right, absolutely.
And so as a leader in spaces and determining your creative being, sometimes we gender ourselves within those spaces, and finding this authentic peace within ourselves with sometimes who we have to be in the moment. Because I have definitely found myself in places and spaces where my masculinity has had to show up in order to navigate it. But I, like you, have always felt the most natural in a very feminist and feminine space. And so to have to go outside of myself in order to interact or in order to infiltrate certain situations so that I can create space for more people who I am authentically, is sometimes a daunting task. And to find ways to find peace, even in moments where I cannot show up as authentically as I would like to, and finding my authentic identity, even in the uncomfortable, sometimes it's a difficult thing. And so when you can create something and create it as the embodiment of who you are, that's an absolutely amazing thing. And it's also something that, as we navigate the leadership realm, that we find ways to lead and create place and space for those things that will transcend who we are, because they are fully who we are, and create space for others. So I feel like your Love, Eat, Build creates space for other people who need to love, eat, and build, but also to inspire us to follow suit and do the same. But I really wanted your answer on that, because I wanted to know how you were leading Love, Eat, Build, and you're leading it as yourself.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's a very natural flow. And like you mentioned earlier, I used to post a lot more videos and go live very frequently. And I haven't been doing that as much, posting as much, some pictures here and there of me and my exploits, but eating and and that's just because that's kind of the flow that I've been in. Right. I allow myself to be. and not force myself to do what I feel is unnatural for me in this moment. I've kind of been in I've kind of been in this in the cave a little bit, like, oh, just kind of taking, like I said, I'm writing a book, and that is a very process, and so that I've been in that space. I've been, teenage daughter space. Work has been really busy, so there's been a lot going on. Things that I love. I'm not unhappy, but just very, just handling a lot, kind of juggling. And so I've just kind of stepped back and released myself of the pressure of having to post regularly. And you know what? I want to be transparent and honest about something. I think a lot of times lately that I have found myself saying, oh, I should record a video. I didn't like how I looked. And it might have been because I didn't have one. Now, and as you can see, I don't wear much makeup at all. I throw a little eyeshadow on, very light, and a little mascara and a little lip gloss. That's really it. But I would look and I'm like, no, don't do a video now. For whatever reason. And sometimes, and I have to be honest, sometimes it's because I don't have earrings on. If I don't have my earrings on, then I do feel naked. So it could be something, but that's a very real thing. And when we think about social media, right, the lies that social media tells about perfection and people being all these things, sometimes I haven't recorded because I wasn't feeling beautiful, or I wasn't feeling dressed enough for whatever reason. I gained some weight and I'm trying to lose that. So just a lot of stuff. And so I think that's a part of it as well. Because I can really think about a couple of times when I was like, oh, I should go live. And then I'm like, don't go live. They're gonna send somebody to check on you. Don't go live looking like this. And so I'm going to get back to it. I'm going to get back to it because I think that is I'm gonna just get back to it. I'm not gonna place a judgment on the thought or the feeling, but I am going to get back to it because I enjoy it, and I'm glad to know that other people enjoy it as well.
Oh, definitely. And I will say, I will give you this: when you first started doing it, we were in more pandemic-y times.
Yes.
And so you had a little bit more time.
Yes, a lot. More time.
A lot more time.
I would go and sit out on my porch and sunbathe, and then I'd set up the camera and just sit and talk to the people. And, that was our way of communication. And now we've been really thrown out back into society and immersed in society, re-immersed in society in a way that we were told we had gone to the other extreme. And now it's like, okay, forget everything, going out there and have a ball. And it's taken a little adjustment for me. Like I said, I'm a Taurus. So I kind of had almost gotten used to sheltering in place, right? And being quiet and interacting on social media. And it's like, wait, what? Now I was just getting used to that. Now I got to do this. So it takes me a little while to readjust. I readjust, but it just takes a little while.
Yeah, but and you know what? In that whole idea of jumping back into society of old, in some ways, it brings me to the next piece I really wanted to talk about. When you brought up this concept of loving yourself enough, and it made me think of the thought that hurt people, right? And so we're jumping back into a rendition of society of old. I won't say we're in society of old, this because we have been forever changed,
right,
by the pandemic. But jumping back out, and we're now not just potentially socially interacting, because on social media you can still filter who gets to you, both watching what you do as well as what you put out there, and having to interact with certain things. You just don't have to see it because you can filter it out.
Right.
But when you get back into person-to-person relations, you cannot filter as much anymore. And so you're now running more into people and spirits around you that may be hurting, and they may be hurting for whatever reason, and they may not be in a space where they love themselves enough to love you. So in thinking about the concept of love, eat, build, and going back to that love piece, yes, it's an internal work. It's very much an internal work, because the saying is true. It's not just a saying. Hurt people literally hurt people, and physically, mentally, emotionally, hurt people, but finding ways to, even in your hurt, to start to love from within. I know you've been through lives. In your journey to, through, around, in all the love things, how have you found ways to really start building that internal love at new levels? Because something else I love that you do is your however many days of dawn leading up to your birthday. And you journal with us out loud and talk about your journeys, and in those things you can hear your healing process. And I think self-love is a healing process.
Absolutely.
And because we get hurt often, and regenerating the love within ourselves, is a thing. But so one, how do you work on that healing? And then also, how do you heal while running it up against people and spirits who are still open wounds?
Wow. So the first part, how do I build ways to love myself more? For me, the transparency has been a very important part of my healing. I think that when approaching this idea of healing, and I think healing is always in the progressive tense, right? If you're English, you've taken any English classes, upper level English classes, the tenses: past perfect, past participles and all of that stuff. And the progressive is the ing. And so when we talk about healing, people like to talk about, oh, I'm healed and you're healed. And I'm like, I think healing is an ongoing process. It's a constant process, because as long as you're moving and navigating the world, you're always getting traumatized by something, whether it's a paper cut or it's well, I'm not gonna say a bullet wound, but whether it's a paper cut or a gash, right? Or whether you fall and scrape your knee or you get a mosquito bite, you're always healing from something as you navigate the world. And so I think it's about acceptance that the world can be volatile sometimes, that the world can also be amazing, and accepting that full circle of life and of interaction, and understanding that I am a dynamic human being in my job here, and I've been blessed with these skills and talents and abilities to navigate. What happens when we get a mosquito bite? We scratch a little bit, or we try not to scratch, it itches, and then we put something on it, and then it goes away. Like it goes away. And then every summer it happens. The mosquitoes come out and we get mosquito bites and they go away. Our bodies are blessed with the ability to heal from these mosquito bites. Most of us, right? God forbid if you're allergic to mosquito, definitely allergic, right? But most of us are able to heal from these mosquito bites. And so I think that's an important part of being able to, it's about malleability. It's about adaptability. It's about understanding that the world is constantly moving and changing. And who am I to expect it not to? Right. And if I'm going to be in and of this world, then I need to move and change with it. And so I have to stop and look and think about, it's like I said, love, eat, build is a meditation. She's also this place where that makes you stop and think. That's the idea. This is this opportunity to stop and think and be in space with yourself and figure out, how can I be better, right? That's Kuumba. The principle of Kuumba and Nguzo Saba is creativity. And creativity is about, the deeper meaning is about, how can I make this world better than it was when I inherited it?
Right.
What am I bringing to the space that makes this space better? How do I leave a room and people go, whoo, yes, when's she coming back? You see what she did while she was in here? Versus, oh, thank God she's gone. Lord have mercy, lock the door, don't let her back. Right? You don't want the second part, you want that first one.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm constantly in that place. How can I make people miss me when I leave a room?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And not in an ego kind of sense. It's about, how can I make each room I go in better?
Right.
Right? Because that's what humans deserve. And why do humans deserve that? Because I love them. And why do I love them? Because I love me. And you and I are one. Because there are